Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I do.
Tonight, Exposure presents a trilogy of terror, hosted by Wes Craven. First, learn the secret behind a filmmaker's chilling success.
Exposure.
Then, from the director of Urban Legend, if you're alone, don't answer the phone.
Exposure.
And beware the relentless stalker that feeds on fear.
Exposure. Special edition.
Tonight, our host is a former English professor turned director. He introduced the world to Freddy Krueger and broke box office records with the Scream trilogy. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wes Craven.
Hello, I'm Wes Craven. Welcome to a special edition of Exposure. Tonight, the Sci-Fi Channel has asked me to shed some light on the creative process. What does it take to successfully induce spine-tingling chills in today's jaded cinema viewer? Some Hollywood executives might depend on focus groups and test screenings, but not me. I've found a more radical approach to answering that age-old question. I rely on Bob. See, Bob is the man behind the horror, the barometer of boo, the tester of terror. If Bob isn't sweating in total flat-out panic by the end of a movie, it's not worth releasing. Tonight, we'll test 3 of what we believe to be Exposure's most shocking short horror films on both you and Bob. First up, imagine you're a student of horror. You live, eat, and breathe scary movies. You long to learn from the masters. Then one day, your moment arrives. A world-class horror director invites you to observe his talents in action. But there's more than a touch of menace in his motives, as you'll soon witness in Jeff Cooper's Cut. Let's take a look. Ready, Bob?
No, please don't kill me, please!
Go ahead. As you can all see, there is absolutely no doubt as to why Mr. Alfred Carpenter is the finest horror director of our time. Now, he is an alumnus of this illustrious institution and a legend in the genre. Now, earlier, we were privileged to see how his career began. Now let's answer questions about what we've just seen. Yes?
Mr. Carpenter, like yourself, I absolutely worship the horror genre. Is there any advice you could give on how I could become a director?
Well, my first bit of advice would be, don't listen to any of your professors. No, seriously speaking, you're all in a wonderful university. And the instructors here are very encouraging and very knowledgeable. And it's obviously done well for me.
One more, if I may. Horror films have been stereotyped as nothing but blood and gore. Now, I firmly disagree. I believe that there's a substance to them. Can you elaborate on what you think is a horror film with substance and one without?
Sure. It's an excellent question. Excellent. The problem with the modern horror film is that they've become too enamored with gimmicks, gadgets, special effects, computers, puppets. This is not horror, ladies and gentlemen. Horror is happiness. That's right. happiness, the glee, the gratification that the killer feels when his prey is inches away from him. Horror is the primal fear and the terror that the victim feels when the knife is being plunged into his guts, ripping him apart. The look of terror in the victim's eyes is far more effective than buckets of blood. Wouldn't you agree?
Going somewhere?
I have to talk to Mr. Carpenter.
Looks like you have to take a number.
I need to talk to him.
You need to catch him when he's alone.
How do you presume I do that? Mr. Carpenter, I'm sorry to bother you. Well, if you'll excuse the informality, I just didn't know any other way to get you alone to talk to you about employment.
Would you leave, please?
Okay, well, why don't I leave you a resume? I've got one right here for you to read.
How wonderful.
My phone number's on the top right-hand corner.
I don't believe this.
Well, maybe I should go.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Hi. Mr. Carpenter, I know that's just a piece of paper to you, but I can assure you, you've never seen anyone with my dedication and ambition. All I'm asking for is a chance.
Is this a habit of yours to get attention?
No, sir. I just didn't think you'd see me under your terms.
Very imaginative and correct. You're certainly a very unusual, sexy young co-ed.
And you're rather sexist for a film genius, so don't patronize me.
Ah, a woman with spirit, my favorite kind.
You know, Mr. Carpenter, I have no desire in knowing what kind of women interest you. I'm here as a professional and wish to be treated like one.
After the stunt you pulled, you must be kidding. If you'll excuse me.
Mr. Carpenter.
Oh, by the way, thank you for the resume. I can assure you, it's already been put to very good use.
Hello, Mr. Carpenter.
Are you nuts?
I came to give you another chance.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How nice. Listen, Sally or Jenny
Mary,
or whatever.
Mary Wilson.
Mary. I thank you very much for your interest, and I admire your persistence. But I'm really not interested in teaching anybody how to direct.
Cool Beans. When do I start?
What?
You know, Cool Beans. It came from your 1968 film, Lucifer's Corpse. Every time the murderer killed someone, he said, "Cool Beans." And it was an absolute hit, which was demonstrated by its theater gross of $35 million. On video, it's made over 30, and it's going strong. It was your fourth most successful hit, over Blood Mare, Hack Hotel, and A Stranger's Prey. Lucifer's Corpse was remade in 1987 under a different title. Morgue of Terror, Michael Hansen directed.
And he did a lousy job. Okay, all right. Now listen, why should I hire you when I have hundreds of resumes in my office?
Because we're one and the same. We have the same intentions.
Indulge me, Mary. What are those intentions?
To have our audience right up there on the screen, experiencing the horror, tasting the metallic sting of the blood. We want our audience to get the feeling that the guy in back of them might just plunge that 12-inch knife into their gut.
Vicious killer is standing in front of his female victim. He's holding a 12-inch knife. He's seconds away from plunging it into her guts. How would you get a performance out of your actress?
I would tell her to think of the most horrifying moment in her life and make that moment happen right now.
And if that didn't work?
I'd tell her to imagine her insides being ripped apart. She's about to succumb to a grisly, gut-wrenching death. That would be beautiful.
I'm going to put your passion to the test.
Excuse me?
I'm auditioning an actress tonight. I always have them videotaped. How would you like to come and shoot it for me? See how I work.
Oh, God, Mr. Carpenter, I would love to.
Good. As the address, I'll expect you at 8 o'clock.
It's perfect. Mr. Carpenter, this is out near the desert. I wasn't aware of any studios out there.
You want the job, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Not too bad. A rather chilling antagonist and a few good twists. But of course, that was only the beginning. We'll be back with the conclusion of Cut. Bob can take it. How about you?
Later, you're home, alone. Were you expecting a call?
Hello?
Nicole, I'm so scared.
A twisted tale of the macabre, plus more with Wes Craven, when Exposure continues.
Exposure.
Well, so far, mild scares with a few spikes of real suspense. But I suspect things are going to get a little more intense. Let's see how Bob reacts to the conclusion of Jeff Cooper's Cut as this special edition of Exposure continues. Just relax, Bob. Nothing to be afraid of.
Mary Wilson, I presume.
You presume correctly.
Oh, come in. I'm Michelle Williams. I'll be your Scarlett O'Hara for the evening.
Oh, pleased to meet you.
Welcome to Alfred Carpenter's castle. He's on the phone right now. He'll be with us shortly. Why don't I show you where we're shooting? This is it.
Oh, this house is unbelievable.
Yes, it is at that.
Does he usually hold auditions in the house?
Oh, you don't have anything to